Toto myself, last year, if I take that as an example, had many of these conversations, and actually our bond became stronger, not weaker, as a result of it. But you need to have the environment where you have no fear about what the implication is on the relationship, but more that you both want the same goal of moving forward.
Could Mercedes be on the verge of pulling off one of the most shocking moves in Formula 1 history? As the 2025 season approaches, Mercedes has made a bold new offer to Max Verstappen, potentially changing the entire landscape of the sport. Will Verstappen make a high-profile switch to Mercedes? Now, in a dramatic turn of events in the world of Formula 1, Mercedes is intensifying its bid to bring Max Verstappen into their fold for the 2025 season. Toto Wolff, the head of Mercedes' F1 team, has publicly declared that Verstappen is the team's top choice to team up with George Russell next year, provided Verstappen becomes available. Currently, Verstappen is tied to Red Bull until the end of 2028. However, his future has become a hot topic of discussion early in this season thanks to a series of off-track dramas involving his team. The tension began with a public spat between Verstappen's father, Jos, and a Red Bull team principal, Christian Horner, at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Things took a more intriguing turn in Saudi Arabia when Verstappen hinted that any change in Red Bull's management, specifically if Helmut Marko were to leave, could influence his own future with the team. Jos spoke to Dutch media, expressing his frustration and accusing Horner of childish behavior. Verstappen remarked that the situation seemed immature and suggested that Horner's actions reflected poorly on him. In response, Horner dismissed the claims, denying that he had rejected Verstappen's participation and downplaying the issue. He indicated that the situation involving Jos Verstappen was not a significant concern for him. Adding to the mix, Horner made a pointed remark in Jeddah, suggesting that Verstappen, or anyone else for that matter, should not consider themselves indispensable. Horner's message was clear: no driver is too big for the team, and if Verstappen wanted to leave, Red Bull wouldn't stand in his way. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has publicly denied Horner's suggestion that Mercedes' interest in Verstappen was a distraction tactic. Wolff dismissed Horner's comments as stupid and babbling during a press conference at the Red Bull ring. Wolff pointed out that a team's performance is crucial in attracting top drivers. He admitted that Mercedes was 3.5 tenths too slow at the moment and needed to improve to become an appealing option for drivers like Max Verstappen. Wolff asserted that if Mercedes could deliver a fast car, talented drivers would naturally be drawn to the team. Now, Wolff has seized every opportunity to publicly court Verstappen, showing that Mercedes is very much interested in the driver they once fiercely competed against in the 2021 season. Wolff's admiration for Verstappen is evident, and he's made it clear that Mercedes is ready to welcome him with open arms if everything goes well. With Lewis Hamilton set to leave Mercedes for Ferrari at the end of 2024, the team will have an open seat next to George Russell. This has sparked a lot of speculation about who could fill this spot. One intriguing possibility is Andrea Kimi Antonelli, a 17-year-old rising star currently in his rookie season of Formula 2. Antonelli's impressive performances have put him on Mercedes' radar as a potential candidate for the drive. Who do you think is more likely to secure that open seat? The young prodigy Andrea Kimi Antonelli or the seasoned Max Verstappen? On the other end of the spectrum, Fernando Alonso, the seasoned two-time world champion, is also being considered. Wolff has even mentioned Carlos Sainz, the driver who will be replacing Hamilton at Ferrari, as another option for the team. However, the most significant bet surrounds Max Verstappen. Wolff has been vocal about his interest in Verstappen, should the star driver decide to leave Red Bull. Wolff's most assertive statement came during an interview with Fox Sports Australia at the Australian Grand Prix. He made it clear that Mercedes would have a vacant seat and that it would be a prime opportunity if Verstappen were to become available. Wolff's remarks suggest that Mercedes is not only open to the idea of bringing Verstappen on board, but is also positioning itself as a top contender for his signature if he decides to move on from Red Bull. The assumption here is that Verstappen would consider joining Mercedes given the team's long-standing admiration for his talent and their readiness to make a serious play for him. When asked if Max Verstappen is Mercedes' top choice for the 2025 season, Toto Wolff responded affirmatively, praising Verstappen's exceptional performance levels. Yes, he's definitely our number one pick, Wolff said. However, he also emphasized that while Verstappen is a prime candidate, Mercedes isn't overlooking other potential drivers. Wolff said that the focus should be on how the team can optimize their car and support George Russell. He believes that making the car as competitive as possible will benefit whichever driver takes the second seat, making it easier for Russell, who has the potential to become a world champion. Wolff's point is that the team's priority should be improving their own performance rather than just finding a standout driver to solve all their problems. As for whether Mercedes would be an appealing option for Verstappen, it's clear that Wolff's admiration alone might not be enough to sway him. Mercedes needs to present a compelling case beyond just offering a more stable environment compared to Red Bull's current internal conflicts. The situation at Red Bull adds another layer to Verstappen's decision-making process. Red Bull will be transitioning away from its partnership with Honda after 2025 and will be developing its own engine for 2026. This is a massive undertaking, especially with the upcoming changes in the engine formula, which will shift to a nearly 50-50 split between internal combustion power and the MGUK, or the motor generator unit kinetic. This new engine challenge could make Red Bull's future more uncertain and might be a factor in Verstappen's decision about his next move. Mercedes made a huge splash when the hybrid era kicked off in 2014, establishing itself as a dominant force in Formula 1. However, since the technical rule changes in 2022, the team has struggled to keep up with Red Bull. With a major rule overhaul scheduled for 2026, Mercedes might just get the chance to challenge Red Bull's supremacy once again. How crucial will Verstappen's decision be in determining which team emerges on top in this new era of racing? Now, Wolff has also mentioned that a decision regarding Verstappen's potential move would likely be made around the summer. This timeline is strategic, giving Mercedes time to evaluate their options and see how the situation unfolds. If Mercedes were to sign Max Verstappen, it would be a notable turnaround from their previous attempt to secure him about a decade ago. In 2014, Verstappen was a promising young rookie, and Mercedes was interested in him. However, Red Bull managed to sign him by offering him a seat at Toro Rosso for the 2015 season, even though Verstappen was only 17 years old. At that time, Mercedes had proposed funding Verstappen's participation in GP2, which was a stepping stone to Formula 1 but did not guarantee an immediate F1 seat. Red Bull, in contrast, was prepared to fast-track Verstappen directly into Formula 1 with Toro Rosso. Reflecting on the missed opportunity, Wolff had remarked that such a relationship needs to develop at the right moment, although the exact timing was uncertain. Red Bull's off-track troubles have overshadowed the team's performance this season, but despite these distractions, Red Bull has shown impressive results on the track, with Verstappen winning 5 of the first 7 races. So, what do you think would it take for Verstappen to take the leap to Mercedes sooner than expected? However, the situation has become more complicated recently. As Mercedes and McLaren close in on Red Bull's performance, Verstappen has managed only 2 wins in the last 5 Grand Prix. Notably, Austria and Silverstone marked his first consecutive losses since 2022, hinting at potential chinks in Red Bull's armor. In light of these developments, Dornbus believes Verstappen should seriously evaluate the possibility of joining Mercedes. The argument is that, with Red Bull's internal struggles and the rising competition, a move to Mercedes might be a strategic career move for Verstappen. As Mercedes prepares for a major rules overhaul in 2026, aligning with them could offer a more stable and potentially successful future. Dornbos indicated that Verstappen might make the switch sooner than the anticipated 2026, possibly as early as the 2025 season. Dornbos pointed out that while the conversation often revolves around 2026 due to the major rule changes and the advantage of being with the team boasting the best engine, Mercedes might prefer to bring Verstappen on board in 2025. This would allow them to bid farewell to one world champion, which would likely be Lewis Hamilton, and welcome another. Initially, it was a no-brainer for Verstappen to stay with Red Bull for the 2024 season, because Mercedes wasn't competitive enough earlier in the year. At that time, Red Bull was still dominant, making it an easy decision for Verstappen to remain with them. However, the situation has shifted dramatically. How do you think Red Bull's recent struggles might impact Verstappen's decision? If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.